It's back into the sewers again with your favorite heroes in a half shell in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. The NES reincarnation of what became an arcade classic had arrived on the NES in 1990 by Konami. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a key franchise at the time, which had a game on the NES that was a little underrated, fun, and really freaking hard. While many complained of the difficulty of the first game, it did very well, and a sequel was a no-brainer. However, Konami decided to change things up a bit. Instead of making another game just like the first one, Konami decided to do a direct port of the arcade game. Remember, if you're new here, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button as it helps out this channel grow. And don't forget to hit the notification button for all future videos. So, how was Turtles 2 today? Here is our review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game for the NES. The story is the same on the NES as it was in the arcade. There's a fire in April's apartment. The Turtles have to go rescue her, but Shredder kidnaps her for some reason. While the Turtles are looking for her, some guy makes Splinter suddenly appear, so the Turtles have to go stop him. Then they have to rescue April from Baxter Stockman. Then Splinter gets kidnapped, so the Turtles have to go rescue him, beat up some headless samurai, and finally go to Dimension X and defeat Shredder. There's all sorts of enemies to fight in this game, like different types of foot soldiers. There's foot soldiers in a helicopter, some in a snowman, there's different rock soldiers, Roadkill Rodney, and Mousers. And at the end of each level, you have a boss fight. It's your usual bosses from the cartoon, and some ones that's not from the cartoon. Bebop, Rocksteady, Baxter Stockman, a rock soldier, this Wolfman guy, this samurai guy, Krang, and finally the Shredder. There are cutscenes to explain the little story that's in this game. The cutscenes do look nice for an NES game. This game is a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. This plays completely different from the first game. Unlike the first game, this can be played solo or play with two players. When you first start the game, you get to choose which turtle you want to play as. And one button jumps and the other attacks. Press the jump button and the attack button will perform a jump kick. If you press the A and B button to perform a special attack, the controls are very good in this game. It's very easy to perform jump kicks and other attacks. You'll go through each stage beating up different enemies in this game. All the Turtles plays the same. They even all have the same special move. Besides their weapons and their bandanas, you really can't tell much of a difference between any of the Turtles despite them having different martial arts weapons. You will fight through 7 long levels in this game. The levels are long because each enemy takes around 2 to 3 hits to defeat, and sometimes you get bombarded with several enemies at once. Even the bosses take too many hits to defeat. This makes the game hard and challenging, and sometimes a little frustrating, especially when playing one player. Turtles 2 features some of the most vibrant, detailed, and smooth visuals on the NES. The Turtles are nice, large sprites that are animated very well. They have very much more personality here than they did in the original Ninja Turtles game. The foot soldiers are drawn and animated just as well as the Turtles, and all the other enemies are done really nice. Boss characters featured an even greater amount of detail because they're large size and look quite close to the cartoon versions. Konami truly squeezed everything they could out of the limited NES hardware and created one of the best looking games on the system. All the backgrounds in Turtles 2 are colorful and simply look great, adding much of the game's superior visual presentation. Locations like April's burning apartment, the streets of New York City, the sewers, snowy Central Park, and a technodrome all look great. The little details such as cars driving out from the background, and the Foot Clan members throwing down billboards, even the fire in April's apartment, help give the levels some spice and really makes you feel like you're fighting through an interactive environment. The music in this game is great, as the game features some classic Turtles music, but also features new, unique tracks that sound great, and it does the job very well. The music is upbeat and fitting for each level. It was much better than the original game. The sound effects in this game was also good, as everything sounds like it's supposed to. A good example of this is the first stage, where giant bowling balls roll down the stairs. They sound like they should. Sounds of weapons swiping, explosions, bad guys hitting the ground with a heavy thud, that standard stuff you'd expect. Konami did a pretty good job with the sound effects and the music in this game. Turtles 2 the arcade game is a great improvement over the first game. The game can be played solo or 2 players this time. The graphics look great in this game, from the fire in April's apartment to the snow in Central Park to all the backgrounds on all the stages. It's definitely an improvement over the first game. All the bosses look great, all the sprites are big and colorful, and you can clearly make out everything that's going on. It has a great variety of enemies in this game. It has a solid gameplay, the controls are very responsive, the music is really good in this game, and has good sound effects. The enemies take too many hits to defeat, so does the bosses. The levels I think are a bit too long, there are no passwords, but you do get 3 continues in this game. Turtles 2 was a much improvement over the first game. This can be repetitive, but it's still a lot of fun. It's another must-play for any Ninja Turtles fan. Overall, I still had a lot of fun with this game, and would still recommend playing this today. So I'm giving Turtles 2 the arcade game for the NES. It's getting a 7.5 out of 10. So what did you think about Turtles 2 the arcade game for the Nintendo? Please leave comments below to share your thoughts. That would do it for this episode. I will be doing live streams throughout the week, mostly games from the Xbox or the Nintendo Switch. And sometimes on Tuesday nights, I do a retro game night live. And remember, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up for your support. Thank you for watching, and I will see you here on the next episode. Cowabunga!